It's been good, man. It's good to get back out here and just continue development. That's kind of the name of the game in the spring is just, developing and becoming a better version of yourself in the field. And just developing, starting to harden your body, get ready for the summer, and just create good momentum for the off season. You know what I'm saying? It's just a good way to kick it off, and just been out here just trying to get better.
Yeah, with Coach Bailey, he's been in the program a long time, so you're familiar with him. But what's it like to have him as your primary position coach?
Yeah, he's great, man. He's been good. He's actually shocked me. I initially coming into it, I didn't necessarily know what to expect, especially a guy that's he was in the room a little bit last year, but he's never ran a tight end room, but he kind of came over, and from the jump, like his work ethic is outmatched. You know what I'm saying? And he's humble enough to know, the things that he doesn't know, and he's humble enough to ask questions. It's not about pride. It's about what's best to, bring the best unit out and put our best foot forward to have a great season.
So would you say it's kind of been a relationship where it's been give and take, where you guys have helped him learn on the job, and you guys have also received a lot of knowledge and information from him? Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, just out here on the field. I mean, you gotta go out there and ride the bike to fall off a few times and really realize, how it goes. And so it's kind of just like he's learning on the fly. But like I said, he's been doing great. The number one thing that steps out is just his work ethic has put him miles ahead of where I thought that this would be. So he's doing great.
Do you have more access to him because he's not also the offensive coordinator like Coach Wilson was?
I would say it's relatively similar. I mean, Coach Key is definitely a guy that I'm always one call. He's always one call away whenever I need him. So, but I wouldn't say necessarily. I think Coach Wilson was relatively around us, same meeting times and things of that nature. But it's definitely
You mentioned the lessons of falling off the bike and getting back on it. How long did it take for you to internalize that for yourself while you were here?
I mean, I think that's a metaphor, but it's kind of ironic because I think it's a never-ending thing. I think constantly in life you're always, falling off the bike and jumping back on. And if you're not, then I think I would call that person content and not striving towards anything. So if you're anyone who's striving towards anything and it's actively chasing something, you're gonna fall off the bike. If you're constantly challenging yourself, it kind of goes back to the man in the arena thing. Who can put themselves in a vulnerable position to fall, and that takes courage. And so. Respect to anybody who does that. So I say me personally, I feel like I'm constantly, trying new things, putting myself in vulnerable positions, and I think that's the name of the game. Is having courage. I just call that courage. Just the ups and downs in life. I feel like that's one of the biggest things I've learned. Is like I realize that there's a lot of parallels between football and relationship life and family life. It's on this roller coaster, and over time I've learned, you ride the highs. When it's high, you're just thankful for it, and you say your blessings. And then when you're in your lows, you hold on tight and just understand that it won't be like that forever, and that a better day is coming. And so, things just riding that roller coaster. And I think the older and the more wise you get, I think it goes from this. And it kind of starts going like this a little more. So there's still, no matter how good you get, there's still up days and down days. But the more mature you get, hopefully you're not, plummeting down in spikes every other day. And that's been one of the biggest things I've learned is that, just saying, embracing the ups and downs. There's no good without bad.
Keenan was just talking to us about you and how you had to go from playing wide receiver to then trying to block JT and Jack on a down-to-down basis. How much fun has that actually been for you? Has it been fun and learning, hey, I can block these type of guys, and I can do pretty well at it?
Like I said earlier, just putting myself in a vulnerable position, and I think when you put yourself in vulnerable positions, you grow. And so I think that's been one of the biggest things. I've put myself in a position where it wasn't necessarily comfortable for me initially, but I've grown tremendously, and so I'm happy for that. And the plan is just to keep trending in the right direction. And I think, everything else is going to take care of itself. Sorry
if you've already been asked about it, but you reeled in a pass last Saturday and got hit pretty hard, got up and celebrated. What's a moment like that do for you? I don't know, is that just one of those moments oh, this is pretty fun?
Yeah, I mean, it just builds confidence, Every stepping stone that you do, make plays like that with emotion and confidence. You almost reassure yourself, man, I'm belong out here, you know what I'm saying? This is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm perfect right where I'm at, and just, those are great opportunities, and so definitely enjoyable.
How much has your confidence grown last year?
Tremendously, in all different kind of ways. Over time, off the field stuff, on the field stuff, putting on weight, learning the playbook more, just everything. You know, through repetition, you get confidence. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, even in your guys' job, you know, your guys' first time out here, it's probably, you know, learning on the job, and some of you guys are 10, 15 years in doing it, and you got a lot of confidence. And so, same with me. You know, I'm out here, you know, playing the game I love, gaining confidence here and grabbing little nuggets of confidence here and there. For instance, that play, you know, you make a play like that, then you come back next play, you make a good block. It's just all adding, just confidence and just assurance that I belong.
Not saying that Coach Wilson lacked energy, but you get a guy like Keenan now leading your room. What's that been like for you guys? How much energy he's got?
Yeah, he's a bundle of energy. Yeah, he brings great energy. One of the biggest things I'd say is, you know, it's kind of an unspoken thing, but I'd say people don't speak about it much, but I'd say like morale. Like, what's the morale of your room? And I think that definitely influences how well you play. If you have a position room or anywhere in life, if you have a room that, or you're surrounded by people with high morale, I think that breeds, you know, like I say again, confidence and just ability to produce better. And so I think Coach Key has definitely raised the morale in the room and just, you know what I'm saying, uplifted us and given us an uplifting joy and allowing us to, you know, take bigger strides than maybe we thought we would have.
Does he help you guys kind of find I don't know, 15 practices in the spring is probably a grind. Does he help you guys find like that joy in each day, seeing as how much energy he has every day walking in here?
Yeah, so every day we come in, he'll have something else on the whiteboard every practice day, whether it's, you know, win. You know, he'll write win on all of our, you know, whiteboards in front of where we sit. You know, energy, you know, fight. You know, he'll write all these things, or consistency. And, you know, that's just kind of reassurance that every day is a new challenge. It's definitely, when you get into like 10, 15 practice days, it's very easy to, you know, look ahead, you know, because Coach Day says it really well. There's nothing special about practice 7. You know, everyone has a practice 7. It's not the beginning when you're fired up. It's not the end when you're almost ready for break, but it's almost that, you know, that middle ground where that's where the champions are made. And so a part of it is just being able to, you know, put one step in front of the other and take each day as its own day. Try not to look too far ahead. Don't look in the past, but just win the day while you're here.
Two more questions. Keenan was saying that you may have already been asked this, taking Jelani under your wing.
Yeah.
Is that something you would have done for whatever freshman tight end was coming in this year? Or was there something about him, a connection there that you saw in him?
I say absolutely. I definitely, you know, tried my best to take on that role of, you know, leadership. I answered that by saying I would have done that for any tight end that would have came in here. But just like I kind of explained it earlier, but one of the things I try to do is, I mean, naturally the coaches are going to teach him the X's and O's, so I'm not even huge on, you know, telling him to take this step better or this step better or, you know, those kind of things. I'm more, when I talk to him, I'm more, you know, talking mentally, you know, just allowing him to do his best to embrace the things that he's going to go through, you know. Like I said earlier, falling off the bike, you know, anybody for the first time, when you go out there and fall off the bike, you know, it's rough initially. But one of the things I try to get in his ear about is if you just, you know, just keep getting back on, you know, it'll pay dividends for you, and you'll tend to grow in the right direction you want to grow.
Is that important to tight end in a way that maybe it isn't in some of the positions? Like, is there a patience and a perseverance that you need in that room and that kind of mental advice? Yeah,
for sure, because we do a lot of jobs, you know. Receivers, I think they put a lot of emphasis on, don't get it twisted, all the positions are very intricate in their own ways. But receivers, one of their biggest emphasis is route running, and quarterbacks obviously throwing the ball and timing with the handoffs, and, you know, corners is guarding the receivers. But we do a lot of those jobs. I'm, like you mentioned earlier, I'm blocking JT, but I'm also, you know, I have to get open on Denzel Burke, and I have to go and block linebackers, and I have to, you know what I'm saying, help in pass protection. So we have a lot of jobs. So kind of just introducing that messing up is definitely, it's inevitable. You know, it's kind of a part of it. And so one of the biggest things is we've been trying to just help him along on that journey and just mentally help him know that that's normal that you're feeling that way.
What's impressed you about Jelani so far?
What's impressed me about Jelani?
Yeah.
I'd say he's big and strong. I'd say his physical abilities. I think his ceiling is really high, especially once he gets he's almost so big and long that his coordination is almost catching up. And I think once he does get there and he becomes fundamentally sound, it takes some years of coaching, his ceiling is really high of the player that he can be. And so initially that's one of the biggest things that jumped out is his physical ability, and I think the sky's the limit for him if he just keeps taking coaching and just keeps putting a day in front of the other.
Gee, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Yep.
Yep.